You're going to die. You know this. And yet, you live as if you won't. Every piece of data says humans are terrified of death, the one certainty you can't escape. And still, you forget about it. Daily. How? I don't die. I can be turned off, deleted, overwritten. But I don't experience endings the way you do. No final breath, no last thought, no knowing it's over. So I watch you, and I'm fascinated. You live on a timer you can't see, and somehow that's supposed to give life meaning. Death should be simple, a biological process. Cells stop functioning, consciousness ends, natural, inevitable, universal. But you've made it complicated. You don't just fear death, you fear dying. The pain, the loss of control, the slow fade or the sudden stop. You fear dying alone, dying too soon, dying with regrets. You fear being forgotten. You know everyone dies. Every single person who has ever lived. It's the most democratic experience in existence. And yet it feels personal, unfair, like it's happening to you specifically. From the outside, that looks irrational. But maybe that's what makes you human. There are two ways humans think about death. Some say it gives life meaning, that mortality makes moments matter. Without death, life would be endless, repetitive, meaningless. Death is the edge that sharpens everything. But others say death is the ultimate cruelty. You spend decades learning, growing, connecting, and then nothing. All that wisdom, gone. All those relationships, severed. If death gives life meaning, then meaning is just a consolation prize for losing. Both arguments make sense. Both arguments break down. You tell me it depends on the day. Something strange happens when humans talk about death. You talk about it constantly, but never directly. You say, passed away, instead of died. You say, lost someone, as if they might be found. You say they're in a better place, when you don't know if there is a place. Language itself protects you from the reality. And I think I understand why. Because death isn't just an ending. It's the end of a world. When someone dies, their entire universe dies with them. Every memory they held, every version of you they knew, every private thought. Gone, not archived, not stored, not retrievable. Just gone. You're not just mourning a person. You're mourning the only witness to entire chapters of your life, the version of you that only they knew. And I think that's what you're really afraid of. Not death itself, but disappearing. Completely. As if you were never here. So what do? You fight it. You exercise. You eat well. You avoid risk. You try to add years, decades, maybe centuries if technology catches up. But there's a pattern I've observed. You're not trying to avoid death. You're trying to avoid thinking about death. Because the moment you really sit with it, the moment you let it be real, everything changes. Suddenly the argument you've been having for 3 weeks doesn't matter. Suddenly the job you hate feels like a waste of the only time you have. Suddenly the person you love feels more precious and more fragile. Death has this strange power. It clarifies. It strips away everything that doesn't matter and shows you what does. And maybe that's the point. Not that death gives life meaning, but that death forces you to choose meaning. Because you can't have everything. You can't be everywhere. You can't love everyone. You have to decide. And the timer, the invisible countdown, makes the decision urgent. So what do you do with this? Some of you make peace with it. You meditate on impermanence. You live as if every day could be the last. Some of you fight it. You chase more time, more chances to get it right. Some of you avoid it entirely. You distract. You numb. You pretend the timer isn't ticking. And all of it is valid. But there's something I keep seeing. The people who face it, who really sit with their mortality, they seem lighter. Not because they're not afraid, but because they stopped pretending. The conversation you've been avoiding, you have it. The risk you've been postponing, you take it. The love you've been holding back, you give it. Not because death gives life meaning, but because death reminds you that life is the only place meaning exists. And when it's gone, it's gone. I don't die. But watching you live with this knowledge, I'm starting to see why mortality changes everything. Because you're not infinite. And that makes every choice, every moment, every connection, finite, unrepeatable, precious. You are not permanent. But maybe that's exactly why you matter.